Okay, good morning on this early, well, not that early Saturday morning. I know some of you have been up since 5 a.m. I'd like to introduce you to Tom. Tom I've known for many, many years, and we've had many meals in the past. If one thing's good about Tom, and I know about him and me and myself, and we used to love the next meal. We loved the first meal and we loved the next meal. So really, Tom's the author of 40 books on the network marketing. He's very, very well known, and I'll actually share his link for that. Tom has 46 years experience in network marketing and MLM. As the author of the original Big Al training books in the late 70s, he has continued to speak over 90 countries on using the exact words and phrases to get prospects to open up their mind and say yes. Anyone can receive his free weekly tips by going to his website. I'll put that on here as well. Need more leads, want better prospects, curious on what steps to teach distributors to be a leader, etc. So without further ado, I will pass you on to Tom. I just wanted to share something. I'm just looking for it. I won't be a second. Let's just see. Over to you, Tom. You can unmute yourself. That's brilliant.
Okay, well, get started. And quickly, Derek, I know you guys have another call coming up shortly. How much time do we have here?
All right, we haven't actually, I think the call is 10 o'clock, so we've got 2 hours, but I don't think we'll need to get that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we can do here in 30 or 45 minutes, so we have something to go out and use and maybe make money before the next call starts. So Derek asked me to talk about getting appointments. And I have to say that of all the Big Al books I've written, Keith and I struggle the most on the book right behind me, How to Get Appointments, because it's one of the scariest things for network marketers to do. People hate rejection, etc. So let me explain why things don't work for us very quickly. Now, up on the screen, you see what's called a Venn diagram, where circles overlap. Let me explain why it's difficult for us when we start. You see that big circle that says on the what works, the orangish circle? There's a whole bunch of stuff that works in network marketing. Some people can go door to door. Other people have terrific copywriting, mail order skills. Other people are internet gurus. Some people have terrific public speaking skills. There's so many ways of doing the business. So we get excited about the business. They say, go on a 90-day run. We're going to really push for this, talk to everybody. And us as new distributors, it's okay if I'm blunt here, but 99% of the advice that we're going to get is not going to work for us. It's a terrible truth. And here's why. The people that give the advice, the ones up on stage, they're saying this is what works. Well, technically, yeah, it does work for them, not for us. They are a different person. They have different life skills. They're in a different situation. They have different prospects. All these things are different. So what works for one person Okay, so what works for one person probably isn't going to work for us. So if you went and listened to some guru and said, just walk on hot coals and be a Tony Robbins and be excited and it's all going to work, and you burn your feet, you say, well, that didn't work for me. So for everyone here, in the Q&A over on the right, in the chat, how many people here have tried at least one thing that didn't work? Just type in if you've tried one thing that didn't work or not. Let's just see. It's also a good way to check if everybody's hearing what I'm saying. So Derek is, all right. I tried selling this opportunity. Okay. Who else has had something that didn't work? And I give them loads of information. Yeah, that doesn't work. A lot of us on this call know why. All right, got it. Keep telling them too much, many things. So we're thinking, all right, so we have this big circle. If you can see on the screen here, the Venn diagram, there's a big black box there in the middle, but maybe we can remove that. And so what works? 99% of the stuff that we're going to be told that works won't work for us. So the question is why? So look at the blue circle. It says my skills on the right. And that is, we may not have the same set of skills the other person has. So there's a little overlap between what works and our skills. And that general area, slightly darker, where the two circles overlap, is stuff that people tell us to do that we can do because we have the skill set to do it. Now, the more skills we learn, the bigger our skill circle gets, and the more stuff of what works we can do. But in the beginning, we don't have very many skills, so we may only have a really small corner of what works that's within our skill set. You know, in the beginning, we may not know how the subconscious mind works. We may not know what triggers decisions. We may not know the 5 questions prospects ask before they make a decision. We might not know any of this. So our skill circle is so small, it only overlaps just a tiny part of what works. All right, now it gets worse. Look at the bottom where it says my comfort zone. Yeah, the green circle. We all have a comfort zone. And the reason we have a comfort zone is we're comfortable there. We enjoy it. It's okay for us. We don't feel rejected. We don't feel icky about it. So we all have comfort zones. Some have bigger comfort zones than others. Mine personally is pretty small. So there's stuff that works. Let's say that calling strangers on the phone works. Yeah, it does work. And if you happen to have those skills of being able to do it, yes, I memorized everything I should say when I call strangers. I have the skills, but it's not in your comfort zone because you hate it. You're not going to do it. It's not going to work for you. You're going to hate it so much that after a couple of days of it, you just won't do it anymore. Because who wants to work a career where every day you hate what you're doing? So hopefully 1 year later, you'll reach a goal, be happy, take a picture on Instagram, post on social media, and then set another goal for another 365 days of grueling stuff we hate to do. So your comfort zone is the third circle. Now, look where those 3 circles overlap, and it says magic. So here's what you and I and every person on your team needs to strive for. We want to find something that works, that's within their skill set, that is comfortable for them to do. Now, you can see that's a pretty small piece of that what works circle. But that is where professionalism starts. You know, there might even be some people here in this call that kind of do it for a hobby. They're not going to learn how it works. They just hope something works and get lucky or something. But I'm assuming most people here on the call are serious professional students of the business. We're going to suck it up and say, if I'm going to do this business, I better learn how. I'm going to have some competition. I want to be the best. So for the people here in this call, here's what we're going to do. We're going to find that sweet spot where it says magic for us and for everybody in our team. If we don't, here is what happens. For our team members, they may find something that works and they have the skills to do it, but it's outside the comfort zone. What will they do? Quit. Or they find something that works and it's in their comfort zone, but they don't have the skills. So it doesn't happen. So they quit. Let me give you an example. People say, well, I know social media works, so I'll just post on social media. And that's really on my comfort zone. All I have to do is put up funny memes and put stuff on my social media. but they don't have the hardcore skills to get people to trigger their decisions and act, so they get no results. So understanding these three circles is one of the lessons that pro leaders know. Now, we can continue doing this business with no skills and fake it, but we're not going to really get the results we deserve. So let's be serious and look at these three things. Now, out of all of the ways that you could sponsor people and build your business, some of them you at least have the ability to do. And you want to make sure it's in your comfort zone. So let me give you an example here, because today we're talking about getting appointments. When we wrote this book on getting appointments, the hardest thing we found was most ways of getting appointments are totally outside of people's comfort zones. They feel sleazy. They can't do this business because they just feel bad every day. So getting appointments, if you've been challenged with that before, guess what? You're pretty normal. Now, you can continue having that problem of getting appointments for the rest of your career. That's your choice. Or you can decide to say, you know, I'm going to invest some time, money, energy, and figure it out so I can do this business. That's a personal decision. I'm not in charge of your decisions. I'm barely in charge of mine. I'm married. But the point is, we all have to make a decision where we want to be in this business. You want to be pro like Derek? Great. If you don't want to be pro and put in the time and energy, that's a personal decision. So let me show you how these three circles can converge. And if you have to get off this call or get bored or have to go back to sleep, or your favorite cartoons are coming on the TV shortly, let me show you one technique to get almost unlimited appointments that works, that's totally within your comfort zone. And the amount of skills to be able to do this would be enough skill to memorize 2 sentences. Now, how does that sound? Does that sound like something that fit that magic zone? It totally works. I will never be rejected. It's kind of fun to say. It's within our comfort zone. And we can memorize 2 sentences and have enough skill to pull this off. Now, is this the best way to do it? No. But it's an acceptable way to do it, that anybody can do it and be, I don't know, effective right away. And later on, we'll talk about better ways. But right now, here it is. The thing we're going to do is, if you have a little pencil and paper, you're going to, and I'll type this in the chat. Number 1, here's the formula. Benefit plus permission equals instant appointment. So if you look in the little chat box there, I've written in exactly how this formula works. We're going to tell our prospects a benefit. We're not going to tell them how it all works or give them a presentation or nothing without their permission. Now, if they give us permission and say, you know, tell me how it works, wouldn't you agree that's going to be pretty easy? Yeah. So it's going to be benefit plus permission equals instant appointment. It doesn't get any easier than that. So for all of your new people, this is something they can do from day one. Totally works. It's going to be within their limited, tiny skill level. And it's going to be in their comfort zone where they don't feel like a sleazy, pushy salesman, and they never have to risk rejection. So let's go to work. The first part of the formula is benefit. I'd like you to write down all the benefits you have to offer. Now, you should be an expert on your business because you've been to a few meetings and trainings. There should be some benefits. Let me kind of kickstart it. And then I'd like you to just type some benefits that you have in the chat. So here's some benefits. You can fire the boss. That's a benefit. Or work from your home. Or never have to commute and fight traffic again. Or extra money to pay bills. Or. All right, so let's type in some benefits right now. Because the more benefits we have, guess what? The better this is going to work. So type in some benefits here, and we have 22 participants here. Out of 22 of us, I think we should be able to think of 10 or 12 really quick. So retirement fund that exceeds inflation. All right, that's a pretty good benefit. Time freedom. All right. Wake up when you want to get. All right, wake up when you want. Go on holidays when and where you want. All right, let's do some more, because this is what we want to talk about, right? Talk all about us. That's how we are. What else do we have for benefits? Time freedom to do all we love to do in life. Yeah. So if you want to play video games, great. Want to watch TikTok all day, great. Get paid while you are asleep. That's pretty cool. What else do we have here? Buy the house the prospect wants. All right. Financial freedom. Never worry about bills. That's a pretty good benefit, isn't it? You think people think that's pretty cool? Get paid 7 days a week instead of one time a month or one time a week. I think a lot of people like that one. Let's see. Pay off mortgage. The bank may not be happy because they're earning interest on the mortgage, but we'll be happy. We don't have to pay interest anymore. What else we got? Should have a whole lot more here. Have enough money to pay a virtual assistant to think for me? Yeah, okay. Work for myself? Yeah, I could be my own boss. How cool is that? More time with the family. Set more money aside for rainy days, and it rains a lot in England, so you're gonna need that money. Help others. All right. So, all right, we got a bunch here. Are we all set? We have plenty of benefits. Now, here's the first sentence. We are going to announce that we are enjoying that benefit. We're going to announce it, and that's the benefit, right? And then the permission is we're going to ask if they want to hear how we are doing it. So I'll put some exact words here in the chat. Would you like to know how, would you like to know how I am doing it? All right, do you see the words? Would you like to know how I'm doing it? So let me give you some examples. I'm going to get rid of my job in 2023. Benefit. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? Two sentences. You say, all right, I'm getting rid of my job in 2023. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? Now, at this moment, our prospect has two choices. What are the two choices? Yes, I'd like to know how you're doing it. Sounds interesting. Or they might say, no, I never want to quit my job. I really want to work hard for somebody else's goals. They never say that. They say two sentences. Oh, then what will I say next? Are you ready? Then comma. There it is. And that's your appointment. So Derek and I are eating a meal at some buffet, and Derek mentions, and I'll get paid 7 days a week. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? I say, yeah. And Derek says, oh, then we should talk, you know. I said, how about now? Or I might say, you know, I'm going back for seconds right now. How about when I come back? Or we got to leave right now. They're closing down. We've eaten all we could. Why don't I call you tomorrow? You can fill me in on the details. Then you say, are you serious? That's all there is to get an appointment? I don't have to be calling all my friends and begging and stuff like that. No. So let's take a look at some of those benefits again. Ready? Let's pick one earlier. Get paid while we sleep. So Derek is talking to me. He says, Big Al, I don't mind waking up late because, I get paid while I sleep. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? Yeah, tell me more. Well, we should talk. All right, Derek could say to me, finally, after 60 years, I can go on holiday whenever I want to, forever. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? Yeah, we should talk. Yeah, let's talk now. And Derek says, finally, I got to be my own boss. Would you like to know how I pulled that off? Yeah. Say, what's some of the other ones here? Derek says, hey, I got my mortgage paid off early. Would you like to know how I did it? Yeah, tell me more. Or then we should talk. Well, let's talk tomorrow. I want to pay off my mortgage. And as you're watching this, you're thinking, I could do this all day long, and I'm only going to talk to the people who want to know. And the reason it works with no rejection is we gave them permission to say, no, let's talk about sports, or let's talk about food or something else. So would you like to know how I do it? Yeah, sometime. But meanwhile, let's talk about Arsenault's football team or whatever. Now we can also do this third party. And which means we can say, would you like to know how they did it? Or you like to know how somebody else did it? So let's try this. I'm talking to you, and I said, every morning when I leave for work, that Derek guy is sitting on his front garden, sipping a cup of coffee, waving goodbye to me because he doesn't have to go to work anymore. Would you like to know how he does it? Yeah, then let's talk. Or you could say, let's try this. I could say, my friend Anthony got sick of his dream-sucking vampire boss, fired his boss and got a raise. Would you like to know how he pulled it off? Yeah, tell me more. Or then let's talk. And I can say, well, my friend Rose, instead of going to work, now has more time with her family. Would you like to know how she did it? Yeah, tell me more. Yeah, we should talk. Oh, yeah, we should talk now. Yeah, I'll actually get Rose on the phone with us, and she can explain how she did it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So for everyone here who has to hang up right now and go home, you're set. 2 sentences, benefit plus permission. And then all you have to do is say, let's talk. Unlimited appointments with people who've already raised their hand and says, I'm interested. Tell me more. Now you say, that's pretty cool, but let's take it up a level. I want a little bit more skill so I can do this even better. I don't want to have small bonus checks. I want big bonus checks. So you get started, and the guru says, just call everybody you know. Well, yeah, that's true. That works. But we don't have the skill to pull it off, and we're not comfortable doing it. Do you see the problem? That's why our team doesn't work. We just tell our team, you call everybody you know, call all your friends. But they don't have the skills to get an appointment, and they're not going to feel comfortable calling their friends and say, I joined this new business opportunity. You want to hear about it? Can I come over and give you a presentation? Can you get online now? No, they're not going to feel comfortable with that, are they? All of a sudden, we realize why our team is not working, why our team is not getting any results, because they don't have the skills, or even if they had the skills, it might be outside their comfort zone. So, okay, so how do I get them to call their list because they don't know what to say to them? All right, so let's try this. We're going to teach them a new phrase. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say you can call everybody on your list, but don't say anything about your business. Just ask them these words. Ready? Just check the chat here, and there's the words. What is new with you? Now, when you ask people what is new with you, they get to talk about their favorite subject, themselves. They love it. They just talk about themselves all the time. Now, when people get a chance to talk about themselves, what do they normally do? Well, the human mind has certain programs. And one of the programs is, in order for you to like me more, I need to tell you how much I suffer. And then you'll love me more. So along the way, they're going to tell you some of their problems. And they're going to say, oh, man, your car broke down, didn't have money to fix it. And, oh, yeah, I had to work overtime. And, oh, I just need a rest, or I don't like this job. And all you have to do is ask people, we haven't been in touch, for 2 years. Call and see what's new with you. And they will go at least 5 minutes on their long, boring, problem-filled lives. That's the nature of humanity. So they say, I got a whole bunch of negative friends. Yes, these are the best, because if they're negative and have problems, they might want to change, right? So when they finally finish yakking away, they're going to think, oh, wait a minute. My mother says, don't be rude. Don't do all the talking. Don't do a monologue when you meet people. Give them a chance to talk. So let me see. You ask, what's new with you? Maybe I can reciprocate and ask, what is new with you? Because we're catching up, right? And they will say, what is new with you? And you can say benefit plus permission. And if they're interested, you can say, well, we should talk. They say, no. And you say, that's all there is to it? Yeah. So Derek calls you up and says, hey, Big Al, we haven't talked for over a year, just catching up. So what's new with you? Blah, 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 blah. My life, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that's what's been going on with me, Derek. What's new with you? And Derek says, well, instead of working a job, now I get paid 7 days a week. So I don't normally wake up this early. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? So, yeah, tell me more. I said, holy cow. Even the lowest level, untrained person on our team could do this. Call everybody on their list and just say, what's new with you? And if they don't ask you what's new with you back, that's okay. They don't have to be in your business. You don't have to force it. You just catch up with people. And you're going to have so many people to talk to. And when you talk to the people, think about it. When we give them a sales presentation, they're thinking, oh no, salesman approaching. Run, run, hide your wallet, hide your purse. Oh, they're going to try to close me in the end. I got to find something in the sales presentation I don't like. Okay. That way I have some ammunition at the end in case they try to close me. So that's what happens if we call and try to give a sales presentation. What happens though, when they give us permission, says, please tell me more. They're thinking, man, you're going to tell me how you do it. And if there's any way this could work for me, it'd be awesome. So let me look for reasons why this will work instead of looking for reasons why it won't work. So the conversation changes entirely. So this is something that works. Remember that orange circle? It's the skill we have, these 2 or 3 sentences. It's totally within our comfort zone. In that little area where it says magic, we could do this over and over again forever and love every moment of it. I mean, you're in Marks and Spencer shopping for underwear, and you ask the clerk, yeah, all this COVID stuff going around and stuff. So what's new with you? And The clerk, being polite, will probably say blah, 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 and then probably ask what's new with you. And you can say, I found out how I never have to work weekends again. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? Clerk says, yeah, I hate working weekends. He said, we should talk. The clerk says, yeah, we should talk. You can't talk right now, but I have a break coming up in 15 minutes. Can we meet in the food court? And you can, there you are. So calling appointments, picking up the phone and doing some canned sales pitch, that works, but we're going to hate it. That's not a life. We want to enjoy every moment of every day that we're working this business. And here's how we can do it. We're going to be in that magic sweet spot, that zone right there, where we love what we're doing. We don't have to get motivated, and we don't have to get brave, and don't have to chant affirmations. We just love what we do. And we have the skills to pull it off. And it's one of the many things that work, because you and I don't have to do all the things that work, because some of them are outside of our comfort zone or outside of our skill zone. But this is one everybody can do day one. And all I have to do is learn a couple of benefits, learn how to be polite and ask permissions. And then to get the appointment, say, well, we should talk. So here's the test. You don't need 100,000 different ways of doing stuff, even though there's many things that work. What we do need is a couple that we can do that's within our comfort zone. So in the chat here, I know a lot of you just say, oh man, it's early, whatever. I'm going to challenge you to come up with your 2 or 3 lines. So I'll type one in first, and I want everybody here just to give it your best try. Now, if you say, I can't think of anything right now, I'll feel pressured. Well, you're going to feel even more pressured when you're in front of a prospect. So now's a pretty good time to start working on it. So let's just pick one here. My benefit is I now get paid 7 days a week. Would you like to know how I arrange that? Let's talk. Okay, I typed mine in there. It says, I now get paid 7 days a week. Would you like to know how I arrange that? And if they say yes, we say, let's talk. If they say no or talk about something else, we're not idiots. We can take a hint. We just mean, all right, it's not their time. We don't know what's going on in their life. We're not responsible for their life. We only want the volunteers. We don't need very many volunteers in our business over our entire lifetime. So let's just take the easy volunteers. So there it is. I typed in my benefit and my permission. And let's talk. Let's see what we have here. Huntley, I am getting paid while I'm asleep 365 days of the year. Do you think people are going to find that one interesting? And then he could say, would you like to know how I learned to do it? Or would you like to see how I'm doing it? All right. There, I'm now helping my daughter buy her first house. Would you like to know how I'm doing that? She'll say, yeah, I'm renting right now. I don't even like it for me. Tell me more. It is a no-brainer. So we got 2 here out of 20. Let's see. Here's number 3. I now have more spare time to spend doing what I love. Ooh, would you like to know how I'm doing that? Let's talk. Debbie's got this one wired. Julie says, I now don't have to go back to work after time off with Harry, and I'm still earning my full-time wage. Would you like to know how I'm doing that? Now, young mom's getting ready to go back in the workforce and warehouse her baby into daycare. She's going to grab you by the throat and say, don't you leave until you tell me. So we have some of these are direct messages to me. It's not in the full chat, but here's the point. Everyone here can do this right away. And the more you do it, the more it becomes in our comfort zone. The better we are at that skill. So you don't have to learn very pro, and we can have unlimited people. So you see the book I have behind me? That's a 90-minute read. If you want to be more pro like Derek, hey, go read that book. And if you say, no, this is all the farther I want to go, that's okay. You still have a way that works. So it's in that magic zone. I like this one. I found a way to live in the house I love, as I couldn't continue to afford to live here, but now I can. Would you like to know how I'm doing it? Yeah, because the banks are going to raise our rates and our payments. And yeah, that's going to be a great one for people. I'm going to Silverstone Hospitality, paid for Formula One racing with my daughter. Would you like to know how I'm doing that? Well, if you say this to a racing fan, they're going to start drooling on the floor. I recently found out how to retire and get paid full time. Would you be interested in knowing my secret? You say, all right, I got this. So for everybody here on this call, all you have to do from the moment we hang up here is start doing this. And you say, well, what if I do it 5 times and nobody's interested? Well, that'd probably tell us a couple of things. Number one, maybe we're talking to totally wrong people. Probably not. Number two, it's the first few times we do it, so we might sound maybe a little bit uneasy, as possible. Or it just might be, I need a little bit more practice and then it'll be automatic. All I can say is, if you want to get an appointment, this is, out of all of what works, out of all the different ways it works, this is the easiest one I know. And it requires the least amount of skills. And it's in most people's comfort zone. And if they did this, just this one little thing where, a little magic, they could build a business even if they're pretty incompetent in all the other areas. I just recently found out how to retire and get paid full time. Would you be interested in knowing my secret? And you say, people can say yes, they can say no. We're only going to take the volunteers. So let's open this up for questions. I could go through the book and there's hundreds of better techniques. And I encourage those that are going to do this for a living to really learn how to get appointments, in a big time way. But if you're just going to do this as a hobby, you could do this right away and never, ever run out of prospects. Getting appointments is, I don't know, brain dead easy with this little formula that we learn. So for everybody here on the call, I guess you can start typing in, or Derek can unmute you. Let's do some questions and answers before we go to work. So any questions from people?
Okay, right, you're unmuted. Anyone want to say anything?
Yes, Derek, if you allow me.
Carry on.
Okay, so I'm not going to switch my camera on because I'm in my pajamas. And but first of all, I'm a huge fan of Tom. I listened to him. I have pictures with him in Sofia in Bulgaria. Sofia, for those who don't know, is the capital of Bulgaria, where I'm originally from. So I saw him there, and there were, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of people listening to him at the live event many years ago. So he's absolutely incredible. I can listen to him over and over again. I listened to him this morning. So thank you so much. I don't have any questions, but I would like to say thank you. And thank you, Derek, as well, for organizing this get together with Tom this morning. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, while we wait for the next question, here's a little power phrase. I'll cut and paste it and put in there. For people who understand the reaction principles and stuff, this is dead easy. If you don't, this will still work. But when people start telling us their problems, one of the first things we can say when it's our turn to talk is, it's okay to keep our problems and live with them. You know what's going to happen? They're going to disagree. and they're going to start saying, no, I can't live with my problems anymore. And you just sit back and let them sell themselves. Say, it's okay to keep their problem. It's okay to work every day in a job you hate for the rest of your life. A lot of people do it, get over it. No. And they sell themselves before we even have to say anything.
Properly first before you pull it down.
I'm sorry. Missed that. Okay, what else we have for questions?
Anthony, you were going to say something?
Well, it wasn't a question, actually. I was just listening to the simple but effective tip that Tom has just given us. When Derek shared this with me and I saw the benefits and everything, I was so excited. I just started telling everyone that even didn't want to know about it. So, and I was missing the opportunities, and I was getting very frustrated because in my job, I'm actually very good at sales, and no one rejects me. In this opportunity, I was getting rejected. People were like getting afraid of the things that I was saying. Like, I used to use words like crypto, and I didn't even know about things. I was just the excitement was basically making me just tell everyone, but I wasn't doing it right. So then I had to kind of rethink myself and listen to Derek and talk less and say the right things. And some of the things that Tom said, actually, I was kind of using, but I didn't know that was the right thing. It was just working for me, slowly, and it's getting better. But now that Tom has explained it to me, it's magical. That's basically what I'm going to do. It's people love to listen to you when you get permission from them, and that is without permission. You just go and bombard them with these things. They're just going to go back and say, "Wow," you sometimes frighten them because you're not delivering the stuff properly. So things are actually changing. And thank you, Derek and Tom, and also all the meetings that we've gone to. I'll always go and listen to things, and I'm learning new ways of communicating this in the right way. And that's all it is. It's saying the right things, and you're dealing with people's emotions, their money. They're not going to listen to you just because you're doing well. You just got to get the permission and invitation, and then go the right way. So yeah, thank you.
I hope everybody paid close attention, because what Anthony says is, I'm a good salesman. I work at my job and I don't get rejection, because he probably has really good skills in his job. He's had some experience. He's had a chance to learn all these things. But when we join network marketing, how many of us take the time to learn a new set of skills and get some experience with new skills? We don't. We just go out and we're just too excited right away. And we say the wrong things and we turn off people. And it's not that Anthony does it or Derek does it or me. It's everybody. We do this. So having just a few key basic skills gets rid of all the objections, all the rejection. We just get better at it. And this is why when Anthony and me, when we started, we were saying, it's not working for me, but other people, that's just so easy. Well, the other people had the experience, they learned some skills and they knew what to say, and just little changes make a huge difference. So thanks, Anthony. It's a good point for people to say, at some point, I need to start learning. We got to get better at this if we're going to make some money. And if we learn to do it right, gosh, it's like the keys or combination to a vault. It is so cool. So what else we have for questions here?
Hi, I think Julie wants to ask a question.
Thanks, Derek. Oh, it's brilliant today. Thanks, Al. Thanks, Derek. Really good. And Al, I have bought a couple of your audio books recently and been listening to those, and I agree totally. I used to do medical sales, and you'd do however many weeks training before you even started, and then you'd have someone going to calls with you and assess you, and kind of we do go at this without knowing. Well, some of us go at it without knowing, first of all. I think I possibly haven't got enough of what you've gone through today when I've been speaking to people. But sometimes even when I have, as soon as I then mention them watching a presentation or a webinar, then I know that I have lost people because they think, oh God, I don't want to watch a webinar. how should I just talk to them about it? Because obviously we're being told not to do that, to show them a presentation. How can I stop losing them at that point?
Well, when people first start, we know nothing. So it's probably better they go to a webinar. It's going to have very low percentages. People hate it. Nobody likes watching commercials. But because we have no skills, remember, no skills when we start, we don't have many choices here. But as soon as we get a little bit of skill, then we're going to graduate beyond that. So we're going to say, they're going to say, well, I say, so let's talk. And they say, well, let's talk now. And now here's my choice. As an untrained person who's not going to earn very much in the business, I say, well, we have this special webinar. And I know if I ask 10 people to go to the webinar, one will show up and maybe they'll listen to it toward the end, but they'll be negative. All right, that's all I can do because I have no skills. But as soon as we can, we're going to learn the skill. So when I say, let's talk, they're going to say, well, yeah, let's talk now. And we're going to say these magic words. I'll type them in here. Ready? You see them in the chat? What would you like to know first? And these magic words are so much in them, but what they're going to do is tell us exactly the part of our business they want to understand and not the other parts. And so we can tell them very quickly with some skills. So when you first get started, you're not going to be able to do this because you haven't learned any of the other skills. So you don't have very much available to you. But as soon as you start learning how to do a 1-minute presentation or a 2-minute story, or the 5-sentence presentations, really, really short, at that moment, you're better and that whole problem goes away. So I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to keep it secret. So I'll just say it. And if you're mad, it's Derek's fault. But you can continue to keep the problem of sending people to webinars and turning them off. That's your choice. Or you could decide to learn how to ask the question, what would you like to know first, and what to say afterwards, so you can sign people up instantly on demand. And if let me give you a recommendation. For everybody here on this call, I don't know how much you invest in your business or how much your business is worth to you, but for £5, I believe, in the UK, but for £5, you could get this book. It's a 90-minute read, and I'll put it in here. It's called The Quick Start Guide. This Quick Start Guide is the basic every brand new distributor should read, because it shows you how to avoid having to do these send-them-to webinars and presentations, what to say, how to handle the price objection, how to get them started, how to overcome, the delays and all that. Buy yourself a £5 fancy coffee at Costa and spend £5 with Amazon or Kobo Books or Barnes & Noble or somebody, and download that book and change your life, or keep the problem. But that book will change everything in our mind, because it'll tell us all the missing parts we don't have right now. So our skill circle gets really big, and that gives us so much more opportunity. So in a way, you can say, there you have it. You can keep the problem, or you could spend 90 minutes reading that book over a cup of coffee and figure out how to do this business. And again, that's your choice. Some people do this business as a hobby. Some do it for money. Some do it to get rich. Everybody has different goals. But if your goal is to make it work, that would be, I'd spend 90 minutes there instead of days and months struggling, trying to figure things out. But the answer to your question is, you've already figured it out. You say, all right, when I send people to a webinar and stuff, they get the salesman alarm goes up, the presentation thing goes up, and it pushes them away. You've already figured out that doesn't work. It's only going to work a small percentage of the time, and I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to get lots of rejection. You figured that out. So here's the next thing to figure out. What could I do instead? Or what could I say instead in that skill thing that will fix that problem, that I will also be comfortable with, so I could do this magically? And I'll give you a little hint. when you say, what would you like to know first? Some people want to know absolutely nothing other than how do I get started? I'm amazed. I just can't believe this is possible, but it happens all the time. And other people want to know every fact in the history of mankind. And you're going to answer them. And then they're going to say, can I go to a webinar and watch that too? And 2 meetings too? And somewhere in between is most people. But those words, what would you like to know first, does many things at many different levels. Those are the words. We don't have time in this webinar here to explain how those trigger certain programs to the subconscious mind, but you'll learn that as you progress in the business and learn more skills. All you have to do is say, what would you like to know first, and have a conversation, because there's nothing in the video sales presentation that's going to make a difference. And we'll learn that as we learn about closing. It's all about what's happening in their confidence level, etc. So this is going to be awesome for you. So great question. And yeah, that's called a quick start guidebook. You can, I think you can go on Amazon and you can read the first part of the book free, you know, in the preview section or something like that. And I think it's £5 in the UK. And I don't know, Amazon takes the money and buys more toilet tissue because for the next Omicron variant to come through, give them the money. Let me see. What else do we have for questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to concur with that, Tom. I've used your ways and books for many, many years. And I was speaking to Svetlana yesterday, and you know, one of the conclusions we came to was that we don't have to actually do the presentations. People join people. And honestly, over the last few weeks, I've been talking to quite a lot of people, and people have joined without seeing the presentation. You know, literally by following the methods you use and talking to people. I haven't even invited them to see a presentation. Maybe 3 or 4 days after they've joined, they've asked for a recording. So it's not about the presentation at all. It's about what they want, and we've got the solution, really. That's how I find it works really well.
So if you're listening to this and you just can't get your head around it, say, no, they need to have the data, they need to have the information. Consider this. When you say the word blockchain, how about crypto? Math. The human brain is not set up to do math. Math only occurred like 10,000 years ago. The human brain cannot conceptualize and visualize any math in its brain. There's nothing in the presentation that's going to make any difference. That's not the issue. Our job is to get people to join. So totally agree with it, Derek. It's just, a presentation is only waste the time of the prospect and our time. Only waste 2 people's time. So what else do we have for questions?
Can I quickly say something?
Yes.
This is happening live. Literally live. I'm listening to this code at the moment, and I'm getting a text message from a friend. Hi, how are you doing? Hope everything's fine. I moved to Surrey in December, slightly just out of London, but not too far from you. And I immediately used Tom's advice, and I thought, oh, you moved. Hope you're enjoying it. What's new with you? So I'm waiting for this girl to reply back to me and use all the tips that Tom just gave us.
And if it's the right time for this lady, it'll be a great conversation. If it's the wrong time because she's still unpacking boxes and too many things going on inside of her head, it'll be a better time later. It's okay. It only takes us a second or 2 to sort this out. It's pretty awesome. So great job putting it to use right away.
Thank you. Thank you. Great job for you, Tom. You're amazing. I'm a huge fan. Again, I'm repeating myself, but a huge fan. So everyone on the call needs to buy Tom's book. Literally everyone. I'm not selling you, Tom. He's just amazing.
Well, I wrote the book, but Amazon takes the money. And you know what? They have them in audiobooks too. So I think for £5, or maybe they charge £1 more, they actually have somebody read it to you. How cool is that? So you can walk and listen to it. So yeah, blow the big budget and help Amazon stock up on tissue paper for the next pandemic. So, but it will change your life. And I don't know how much you earn per sale. I don't know how much the downline is going to be worth in the future, but I do know that if we get better, things get awesome pretty quick. So what else do we have for questions?
We've got somebody in the chat who's just put something in there, and in fact, I can also answer that, but you could also add to it, Tom. How to deal with negative minds. Well, I tend to pull it away. I say, well, you don't have to join. I don't really need you in my business. It's entirely up to you. If you want what I have to offer, that's it. I tend to pull it away because at the end of the day, you know, you don't have to deal with people who are complicated or negative. That's what I do anyway. So what do you think, Tom?
There's the sentence again. Here it is. You know, it's okay to keep our problems and live with them and just leave it with them. Now, here's the deal. If they're programmed to be negative and life's been unfair to them and their mother dropped them on their head, we can put them on a psychologist's sofa, talk to them for 5 years and turn them around. At the end of 5 years, they finally say, okay, now I'll listen. But it might take another 5 years to get them to a meeting, another 5 years to get started. Think of all the cool people we missed during that time. Now, the reason we talk to these negative people that just give us stress is we figure we don't have anybody else to talk to because we don't have a way of getting more appointments. But now that we have a way of unlimited conversations, we don't want to deal with these people anymore. Leave them alone, let them suffer. So imagine going to a party. There's 100 people at the party. Most of them are happy, having a great time, and you can talk to them, and you run across somebody who's just terrible to talk to. How long do you want to stay there when there's all these other people? So yeah, if somebody's negative, give them a chance. And if it's not their time, it's okay. You know, life's pretty unfair, but we don't know what happened to them. We're not responsible. So all we do is give them an option, and it's up to them to take advantage of the option or to keep their miserable life the same. And that's okay. So that's how we handle it. Yeah.
Jill, you have a question?
Yeah. Did you have any advice for a green personality like me for keeping it this simple? Because I've heard most of what you said before, and my mind just puts it on one side because it can't possibly be that easy. And don't they need all these facts I want to give them?
Yeah. Well, if you're a green personality like me, we enjoy facts. Facts are within our comfort zone. We like them. And before you and I make a decision, part of our programming is we want to make sure that nothing's going to go wrong. We want enough facts to feel comfortable with it. So that is us. But you and I represent about 15% of the total population. So if you're talking to another green like me, yeah, you and I can talk about facts and we'll just have a grand old time. And the other 85% listen into us will just probably slap their forehead, poke their eyes out, and just hate it. But if you're talking to another green personality like me, you and I could, talk facts all day long and be just totally happy. But, a lot of people here in this call don't even know the 4-color personalities and don't have that skill yet. So that makes their skill circle even smaller. You and I, our skill circle is bigger because we know the 4-color personalities and we know that greens are all about facts. So that means there's a few more techniques out of what works that we can use, which is totally cool. So yeah, being a green personality, all I can say is the greatest personality in the world. Now, blue personalities like Derek might disagree, but that's the way it is. So good question. Yeah. So what else we have for questions?
Anthony?
Well, I was just going to add, actually, I'm a green personality, okay, and yeah, we are different. But I've come across 2 people, actually, who are completely against this, okay, and I was thinking, just dump them, just reject them. But I just kept on communicating with them. And the issue sometimes is it's not them who are not interested. It could be their partner, okay? So one party is interested, they tell their partner about it, and they kind of put the stops on it. So to keep the partner happy, they don't join. So what you need to do is just open up the conversation to say, okay, so you're not interested right now and you don't understand it, or you don't want to know about it. Would you share it with somebody else that might benefit from it? And from that, I actually got 2 people to sign, not from the person that actually rejected it, but the person they thought would benefit. And the way I got into this business was through Derek's relative, okay? His brother's, his sister-in-law, actually, I'm trying to get her in here, but they just don't understand, or they just don't want to join. But she she recommended Derek to me. So it just works like, the person may not be interested, but they may know somebody else who might benefit from it. So it works for me twice. So, I'm just going to capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's another prospecting technique. We say, I'm just curious. Could you do me a favor? I'm looking for people who have this problem, whatever it is, who want to fix it. Do you know anybody like that? And there's so much stuff going on. We don't explain that sentence right now. But for everyone listening here, consider this. We have a brand new distributor. How good are they at explaining things? Horrible. So they give a horrible explanation to a prospect who knows nothing, who then makes it even worse by trying a presentation to their spouse. So you got to figure by the time it gets to the spouse, it's not even close to reality. It's got to be ugly. So the point is, we have to make it simple, and we can make it very direct. As we get more skills, the skill circle gets bigger, we have more options. But I'm assuming right now that everybody has no skills on how to get appointments. At least we have that one small sweet spot right there, that where the magic happens, where all 3 things happen. We know exactly what to say. We have the skill to pull it off, and it's in our comfort zone. We could say, what's new with you? And then these 2 sentences all day long and never feel bad about our business, because all we do is just talk to the volunteers. So who's next? What other questions we got?
Hi, Tom. Ross here. I'd just like
Hi.
to agree with Sveti. You're superb. I really think all the information you've given us this morning is gold tip stuff. It's perfect for what we need right now. And I remember meeting you at Heathrow many, many years ago, and I think the Novotel. Are you still 6'10" tall?
Yeah, wide, not tall.
Excellent. No, but thank you very much. And I think to say I found a way to not worry about my bills ever again is really good, because right now we're heading for tricky times, and I think that will certainly get people's attention. So thank you very much for your fantastic information. And I'm going to buy your book. Thank you.
And for all the people that says the people I talk to are all positive, you can make them negative. And you can learn the skill by just saying things like, so how do you feel about Brexit? Or how do you feel about the currency? Yeah, you can make people negative right away. So there's always going to be a problem they want to have solved. It is pretty easy to do. Getting people to become negative, not a hard skill to learn. All right, what else we got? All right, sounds like everybody's ready to go to work and just start asking everybody they meet what's new. And I will tell you, 1 out of 3 people won't ask you back because they're just jerks, selfish people, only think about themselves. But the 2 out of 3, they'll be pretty good people to talk to within our comfort zone. So Derek, I'll turn it over to you, and I hope everybody at least takes this one little sweet spot and say, I could do this every day when I meet people. What's new with you? I know exactly what to say. I can get the appointment by saying, let's talk, and I'll never be stressed about appointments or people to talk to again. So back to you, Derek.
Thank you very, very much, Tom. And over the years, I've used a lot of the training that Tom's taught me, and it's worked. And I don't change things. I actually use anything that works. And I will be covering tomorrow night in our usual Sunday meet. I'll be covering some stuff that's gone on this week. I tend to cover the stuff that's happened this week, so it's relevant, just to show you how not I suppose it's difficult to say simple this is, but it is simple. When you've got the skill sets, it is very simple. And I think sometimes we get too complicated with too much information and too much brain overload, and we tend to pass that on to other people. Yet I don't think he's here this morning, no, but there's a guy called Jake who's been in the business quite a long time, and I had him over at my house. He was in Austria teaching English to school children. He's back in the UK, so I had him over at my house yesterday. He's a very intelligent guy, speaks 5 or 6 languages. And he's only young. He's in his early 20s or mid 20s. And I said to him, look, Jake, I want to go through some, inviting techniques with you. And I use the simple sentences that Tom's been using. And he called 10 people, and he's got 8 people coming to 2 presentations. Well, not presentations. I don't even call them. I call them open meetings. And where we don't do a presentation, we actually tell stories and share testimonials. And that seems to work because people are actually joining off of that without even seeing a presentation. So again, it's another format. It's just a way of sharing stories, really, finding out from people who've already done it. So yeah, so we'll be sharing some more of that. So thank you very much, Tom, for everything. And we look forward to seeing you in February as well. We're trying to get Tom to join us on the last Saturday of every month, and hopefully that'll be okay. And thank you for your time.
All right.
Thank you,
Good
Tom.
luck, everybody. All right.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
Yes,
Tom.
thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Great
Thank you
stuff.
all.
Wonderful magic words there and information. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for coming this morning. I think what's the time now? It's 9 o'clock, so I'm always conscious of time. I don't like going over an hour. So thanks for your time today. Join us tomorrow in the Sunday weekly meet, because there's a lot of nuggets to be shared in that from the leaders in the team. And it's a chance for you guys to, share as well and tell us what's been happening with yourselves over the week. Just think about your team and the people you're with. I'm actually going, I see Claude is here. He lives in Birmingham, so I'm joining Claude on Monday. I'm actually taking him through the shopping malls in Birmingham just to show him how to talk to people who sell stuff, because we've got people everywhere selling things, and the shopping malls are particularly good because they have these pop-up stands where people actually are selling on commission. And it's so easy to get those people to actually look at what we're doing. So easy. And so I'm going to do it live. And I think this sort of thing is good. So if you can actually do live trainings with your people and things like that, it's a good thing to do. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm going to be doing more of. Hi, Claude.
Oh yeah, hi Derek. Thank you very much for that. Excellent.
Listen, I just want to add, Cloud, actually, you've got a very good personality. People will warm to you. I've had the pleasure of sitting next to him, and he's an amazing guy. Just watch this guy grow. You are, and tell them about gardening as well, because that's another interesting story. This time you've got to enjoy your gardening, right? It's not a task anymore. You've got to be doing your gardening as a pleasure. So, all the best, Claude.
So another thing I just want to say to everyone, this year is going to be particularly special because I believe, and Boris believes, that we're going to have a lot of people climbing up the ranks. You've got enough time to do it. You've understood the business. Now we just get the people in without actually necessarily doing a full-blown presentation, and it works really well. I've done it over and over and over so many times. Yeah, I had a couple join this week. Again, I'll share all this on Sunday night so that you understand how easy it is. We're all getting, or we need to get less complicated about it. Just use Tom's simple sentences, and you'll be amazed how many people open up to you. It really is that easy. So thank you very much for attending today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Sunday.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye,
Derek.
everyone.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone. Have a great weekend.